Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com, where music comes to life. And my guest today has really been one of my favorite vocalists ever. He's making his second trip to the site. We spoke last year when he released his killer solo record, Standing on the Edge. He's now back with his band Black Swan for their second record, Generation Mind. It's out everywhere April 8th. Please welcome Robin McAuley. Welcome, Robin.
Jeff, hello. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, my pleasure. And like I said, we spoke about a year ago for Standing on the Edge. And at that time, you had mentioned that you had a couple tracks already completed for the second Black Swan record. Was the process of creating Generation Mind dramatically different from Shake the World, as one was done pre-pandemic and one as it's going on?
It was pretty much the same. No, it really was. With Jeff's so busy. Reb is so busy. Pre-pandemic, I finished a residency in Vegas at 5 nights a week, so I was crazy. So record number 2 came along, and Jeff dropped me an email, and he goes, "Okay, so let's start thinking about the second one. And as soon as I know my time frame, I'll shoot you an email again, and from wherever I am, or I'll call you and let you know how we're going to do it." And then suddenly I get a call, Reb's in town, and we're going to start, shredding and see what happens. And then we'll just drop a load of songs on your doorstep and off you go. And that's, it came in as one, and I sat with it, and I was in the middle of something, and then suddenly, bam, I have like 6, 7, 8 songs, and I'm going, and same kind of process. I'd work on lyrics, melodies, and check back with Jeff, see when he was back home, and then find that little slot and go work together and just bang it out, as they say.
Yeah, and Frontiers Records does a lot of kind of one and done projects. So when the four of you first got together for Shake the World, did you envision at that point that this was going to be something ongoing, or was it just let's make a great record and whatever happens, happens?
When it was introduced to me as the super group, I went, yeah. I mean, what a title. I said, no, I don't want to do a super group. What is a super group, But we got it done, and I think we always knew that, if the chips fell in the right place, we'd probably get a second record, and you don't think too much about it. You just get on with the writing, and you hope that it's going to be a good record. Shake the World, we were really happy with. We had a great response to it, and of course, pandemic kicks in, right on the doorstep. So when we hit record number 2, we were kind of laughing a little bit and going, what are we going to do now? and that was kind of it. Reb is just great with ideas. Jeff is great at just taking those ideas and making them work. And I really just got to it and started banging out these songs one after the other. And there'd be riffs and arrangements and everything, with little changes. And I sat listening, and I'm going, shit, now what am I going to do? Because, it's like, it's new and it's fresh, and you're going, and I just finished my solo record, kind of, sort of, and I'm going, you kind of think, shit, now I have to come up with an entire new album full of lyrics. Where am I going with this? And not too dissimilar to Shake the World, Reb has this thing of when he's writing licks, I hear things, and they're almost like little words talking to me. And when I heard the riff on the opening riff on Eagles Fly, again, there was something in there, and I'm going, oh my God, that reminds me so much of the alien voices that was in Jeff Lynne's War of the Worlds. And I went, and I dug it up, and I go, there it is. And off I went on a tangent, and I kind of wrote the whole lyrical concept thing of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and the video kind of followed, the the almost, abandoned house, and
Mm.
the two kids having the last hurrah, before the big aliens come, raise them with red stuff. So, I love stories, and it kind of makes it fun, as long as it all ties in. It's not too stupid, right? And people are going, "What the hell is that about?" And I'm going, "I don't know. It's too long ago now for me to remember." Yeah.
And when the last record came out, I spoke with Reb about it, and he was saying like a lot of the music he brought, and I think you even mentioned it when we spoke last year, was stuff that he brought to Winger that maybe Kip said, that's not for us, so we kind of saved it for this.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he put out a solo record. You talked
Right.
about
Very
you
good
put out
solo record. Yeah.
You talk about how yours came out, so you used a lot of lyrical ideas there. So when it came time for Generation Mind, was this all new creation from the three of you, as opposed to the stuff you had in your pocket?
Yeah, I believe. Well, for me, it definitely was all new.
Mm-hmm.
For Jeff, I believe it was. I don't know if Reb brought anything from the past. I don't think so. I think it was all pretty fresh and new. And if there was a riff or something that was discarded along the way, I know that how we work, they take it and they just twist it and they go, well, it's not the same riff, It's like, because if you play for Winger and you play for Whitesnake and you're writing, that's what you do. There's always going to be a trait of something, It's like how Jeff writes. If I'm writing for Schenker, if I'm writing for something else, my voice is my voice. So, I'm not going to sound like, Doro.
That'd be interesting.
And I love Dora. And I said that in the most complimentary fashion. I'm just on a record with her, actually, out of the UK, Circle of Friends.
I've seen that with Jeff Scott Soto.
And actually Joel Hoekstra's playing guitar on. There's a plethora of people on Robin Beck's on there. It's so I meant that in the highest compliment. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to sound like I do, but I'm going to take on a slightly different persona for the project that I'm in. And I told you last time, I just love this Black Swan band. It's just it's awesome. It's a great band. And I think on the second record, we kind of sound like we're a band. We moved from Shake the World and we managed to capture that, and we moved on to Generation Mind, and I think we locked it in on this one for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because that's exactly what I was going to bring up next, is on this record, just the cohesion and the evolution of you guys playing together. It sounds like you've been playing together for years on this record. Was the comfort level different now that
I think we kind of, you go, yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. And that's what he does. Reb made a really funny statement when we were shooting the two videos for Generation Mind and Eagles Fly. He goes, "You think we'd be any good live?" And Jeff said, "We'd probably suck." And he goes, "Do you think we'll ever get to do it?" And I went, "Well, if you guys, come off the road and I come off the road and we go, hey, look, we have a weekend." The problem with that is, and it's not necessarily a problem, but a problem is you can't just show up and play. There's work, there's rehearsal involved, and we're not all in the same place at the same time. But we do agree collectively that ideally, in a perfect world, kind of a Monsters of Rock or festivals would be the perfect platform, no pun intended, for us to perform, because you hopefully get a lot of people in the same place at the same time on the same day or weekend, and it would be a great way to launch the band. We have 2 albums now. We got plenty to pick from. So fingers crossed, we'll get before, I have one foot in the grave, it's like,
Well, yeah,
it ain't over, but until it's over. Yeah.
it's funny because it's like you have my list of things, because the next thing was I was going to ask you if you're ever planning on playing live. So
I'm sorry.
you could do the interview.
I'm sorry.
No, but yeah,
It would be. I mean, Jeff, it would be. It would be
yeah.
awesome. I mean, I think we're all hoping that with this material, we get a chance to to deliver it, because it's. I know I'm saying it, but I love it. I think it's great. I think
Well,
it's
and
great.
I think there's an energy, and I think especially with this record, like I said, there's a difference in the cohesion of the band, I think, between the two records. But this record,
Yeah,
some of those songs are just meant to be played live.
yeah,
As
they
you're
are.
hearing them, listening, I could picture it on stage and
Yeah,
being there, feeling it coming back to me.
yeah. We've had a few comments where people go, "This has got a real live feel
Yeah.
to it," And we were very conscious, and Jeff's so good at that stuff. We were very conscious and Shake the World. We didn't want to that sort of overproduced,
Mhm.
shiny, polishy thing, and um, I think we accomplished that. We accomplished it more on this one. It's just to keep that edge, that's not over processed, because we didn't record it like that,
Mm.
and I get together with Jeff and I go, "Hey, this is what I have," and we tweak a couple of things, and I step up to the microphone and we throw it
Mm.
down.
Mm.
And this, I don't sing a line now and come back in 2 weeks and sing another line. It's like patosh,
Mm.
there it is. And even sometimes when there's an imperfection, it's just got that sort of spontaneous
Yeah.
live feel, and we're going, if it works, don't fix it.
Yeah.
It may not be perfect, but it's going to be great.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back a few years to 2018, you've been incredibly busy. I mean, there were the two Schenker Fest records, the
Oh
two
God,
Black
yeah.
Swan records, your solo record. And not only have you been putting out a lot of material, but I think it's some of the best material of your career
Oh,
in
that's
these
very
past
nice.
5 or 6 years. At a time when a lot of your peers are kind of coasting on what they did 30 years ago, what is it that keeps driving you to not only keep working, but put out such strong material?
They keep going, you have to do another record. I'm going, dude, I really don't want to. My wife is a ginormous support. And she
Mhm.
goes, you just get on my nerves if you're not doing music, you're going to drive yourself nuts.
Mm.
You have to be. This is what you do. You complain, and you're going, now I have this to do. And she going, you do it, and every day you complain, I'll never get this done. And she goes, suddenly you turn around and go, oh, it's done. I'm 10 songs in. I think I'm about, maybe more. I think I'm a song or two short of submitting, not recorded, of course, but written. For my next follow-up solo record. It's already
Nice.
ready to start recording. And then in the midst of writing that, Black Swan comes out, and then I actually get a call from the Schenker camp,
Mm.
and he has about a month European tour coming up, starting April 27th through the middle of May.
Mm.
And Ronnie Romero is his front man for the 50th anniversary record, also on the New Universe record from Michael. And Ronnie was unable to fulfill the last 5 shows, 3 in Spain, 2 in Italy. So I get an email going, I need an immediate answer. Can you fill in this hole? And I'm going, I'm recording a solo record, damn it. And about 2 or 3 days after that, after I'm going, okay, I'll do it. There's a lot of work just for 5 shows, and careful what you say yes to, because I said yes, and then I get the set list of 25 songs, and I'm going, I said to my wife, I'll be coming home in a box, and about 3 or 4 days later, after I saying yes, I get another email going, the whole tour is now open. Can you do the whole tour? So now suddenly all of the European shows are open to me. So I will actually leave home on the 22nd of April, unexpectedly, to the European leg of the Schenker tour. I know he just advertised a plethora of dates for the US, for North America. Ronnie's down for that, unless unless he's not. But you know, it's good to be at the ready. It's good to be working after this damn COVID thing, you know. And I think it'll be hard to stop people working once we get going, because you know we've been hankering for this just for a little too long, you know.
That's for sure.
And as regards to those masks, you know, I've had more shots than wish they came out of a bottle, but they didn't. But on a positive note, Bao, no pun intended. Yeah, that's good. You know, it's
everyone's healthy.
Feast or famine, so I'll take the feast.
And you know, talk about the quality that you've been putting out. And on this new record, I have to say, Wicked the Day is rapidly becoming one of my favorite songs of the past however many years. I mean, it's such a good track.
Thank you. It's one of my personal favorites, and it's I know you didn't ask me, but you know, I have a habit of just talking.
Go for it.
You know, it's actually that whole story is actually about the bastard son of King Arthur. People are going, I didn't know he had a bastard son. I went, yes, he did. And he had a son, Mordred, with his sister-in-law. And of course, the battle ensued. And in Old English, you wouldn't call it a wicked day. It's wicked the day. And Jeff was going, that doesn't sound right. No one. It sounds right to me. Okay, I'm Irish, even though King Arthur was English. But that's a whole different one.
Close enough.
So it's one of my favorite tracks. I just love the feel of that thing. When they sent me the music for that, oh my God, I got goosebumps, and I'm going, oh, I just can't wait to get into this. And then I went down into a hole, and I'm going, but what am I going to sing about? And I love researching stuff, and I love little things in music to go, this is it. There's the title right there, you know. And then I read up about it and make sure I get it somewhat correct, you know. And so that's what that's about. Yeah, it's one of my personal favorites too.
Well, it's funny because I mean, I was the kid growing up where I would hear a song like that, and it would make me go research. Well, what's he singing about? What what's behind this story? So I'm with you on that. 100%.
You know, Ronnie James Dio sang about rainbows. Why can't I sing about King Arthur? Yeah, there's no dragons in there. I don't think I mentioned the dragon in one of the songs. Yeah, I believe in dragons.
Not yet. That's for album 3.
Maybe yes.
Well, we've been spending some time here with the amazing Robin McAuley. The band is Black Swan. The record Generation Mind is out everywhere April 8th. And I know Frontiers has a ton of physical versions, CDs, vinyl, as well as the streaming.
Cassette.
There's a cassette as well.
There's a cassette. Awesome. So
that's fantastic.
Right? Yeah, I went into my garage. I found 2 almost new Walkmans, and I put fresh batteries in, and they work just great as long as you keep a pencil handy, you know, to wind back the tape.
Well, if you ever get a copy of this record, now you can get it on cassette.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. It's great. Limited edition, of course, and the T-shirts are awesome.
Yep. Yeah, great artwork.
I have the old one on, but I have the old, but the artwork is the artwork is, and I love it's the cover is really important. And I always love. I mean, Stan Decker did this first Shake the World one, and Stan also did Generation Mind, and he has the patience of Job, because Jeff Jeff and Reb put me sort of, you know, dude, you know more about this stuff. You take it and just keep us posted. And I'm going, oh, come on, you know. But I had ideas all the way right before we even got into the music of what we should do with this one. And it started off basically being based on the mask of the plague doctors back in the Black Plague days. And so they wore these sort of beak type masks. And I can conjure up some images, some renderings in graphics. So I got into Photoshop and I started putting this plague doctor beak on swan heads, and I was doing all sorts of stuff, and I was flooding Stan with this kind of stuff, and he's going, ah! And then we decided we needed to change gears and go forward into sort of a more alien-esque sort of approach, steampunk and that sort of thing. And then I was watching the movies Alien, and I would take still shots and get the colors, and I'm going, that blue cold steel, that's what we need. That's the kind of stuff we And we got there, and poor Stan was going, guys out of his head, guys out of his tree. But you know, with perseverance, and he's amazing. He's just such a good artist. And he never whimpers. He just takes it, and he just kept sending different renderings till I went, that's perfect. That's the color. Let the guys see it, and they're going.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just so much fun too, because you're at the drawing board. You're just creating something, and I don't think there's one other cover. If you lined up the current 10, 20 albums right now, there isn't one cover that looks anything remotely like it. Nothing. And that's what I like. That's what I like. It just as a standout, whether you love it or hate it. I don't, yes, of course I care, but I don't care. But there isn't anything that looks like it. It's absolutely sticks out there all by itself.
Well, I mean, it's back to the old days of you'd walk into a record store and you'd literally buy a record because the cover was cool. You know, I mean, some of us, that still matters. So it's a cool thing.
It's a piece of art, really. To me, that's what it is. And hopefully it matches the art that's, it's on the vinyl. The vinyl, I believe, is in a crystal finish, which is really, really, really cool. I mean, one of my sons collects vinyl, and he's got his turntable, and it's just really cool stuff. It's cool stuff. And I'm glad to see how over the past 5, 6 plus years, vinyl is just people are going, this is really cool to have this, right? I mean, it was always cool.
Exactly. Well, again, the record Generation Mind from Black Swan, out everywhere April 8th. Robin, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I look forward to doing it again.
You look great. You look soundly like positive. I love your back, your room. It's like, look at all those guitars, dude.
Yeah. Thank you.
You play. I'm assuming you don't play.
Yeah, they're all fake. It's cardboard.
Thank you, Jeff. Great talking to you.
We'll talk again soon, Robin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.